Okay, if this little intro, this little music didn't get you hyped for the game, then I don't know what will get you hyped for the game. Not even the professional players. Nothing will get you hyped for this game. Brazil versus Paraguay. And I didn't expect it to go this way, Chris, but it's actually a crucial game for Brazil today.
Yep.
Crucial win.
It's a put up or shut up kind of game. And we are here to either experience maybe some semblance of joy or experience further misery. In your case, it's misery like tacked on even further by what happened yesterday.
Oh,
So,
I've become a masochist at this point. I'm starting to like enjoy it. It's weird. It's weird. I'm starting to enjoy the pain. I don't know, man. I might need to go to psychiatrist after all of this. It's not looking pretty. Because the thing was, the U.S. versus Bolivia was already not good, but we won. So I was like, it's all right. The result was there. Then Brazil played Costa Rica, and that was horrible to watch. Today, Colombia destroyed Costa Rica 3-0. Sure, the penalty kick helped, but they did just like completely dominate the game.
the
But the
second half.
U.S. lost to Panama 2-1. That one was very painful. That one was very frustrating. I was pissed. I'm still pissed. I'm definitely doing better than yesterday, though. I think people saw that in the stream yesterday. I'm much calmer today. I'm doing better. A good night of sleep helps. But it kind of sucked. And I hope this one doesn't. I hope Brazil wins today, because if we don't win, there's good odds of both Brazil and the U.S. getting grouped.
Yeah. And we've got to remember the last time that Brazil did get grouped in Copa America, it was in the United States in the 2016 edition. So it's not like this is some sort of like unfamiliar ground by any stretch.
Losman Jr. saying 5 more years of Berhalter or 5 nights at Diddy's. I'll take Berhalter.
Yeah, at least with Greg, you know you're not going to get assaulted in various ways. Maybe in one way, but it'll just be like
Maybe
a really
one way, but
it'll be like a hard kick to the shin, like that one time, but that'll be pretty much it.
But he's also not as strong as he used to be, Greg. He's older, so I'll take Greg's kicks. So I'll take 5 years of Greg.
I like our odds a little bit better of dealing with Greg for 5 years. Yes.
I also think Diddy's far more powerful and scarier.
Yes.
I'll take Greg. Let me see if I didn't miss anyone. Colin Reese is saying, mistake not having Casemiro and Gabriel Jesus. I'll put it this way. I think the biggest mistake is not starting Endrick and persisting on the kid. Casemiro, I'm sure there probably would be a spot for him over João Gomes, even though he's been terrible for Manchester United this season. I would probably agree with him, and I'd rather have Casemiro next to Bruno Guimarães rather than João Gomes. I don't think João Gomes is bad by any means. It's just that there is a talent gap there.
Yeah, he needs time to kind of get to this level. Like we've said during the Costa Rica game, he's a great rotation player for the national team side of the spectrum, but we don't think that he should be starting right now. So Casemiro would be a bit of an improvement there positionally. Again, I would like to see Douglas Luiz get a shot at the starting lineup at this point, too. If they've got him on the bench, like might as well try that. And again, we're very adamant on Endrick starting up front. Gabriel Jesus wouldn't be a bad call depending on the system that they're using, but I just don't think his form was really good for Arsenal. Like there were spurts in which he was good and then others in which he was just practically invisible for that team. So
the problem is who we brought instead of him, right? Isn't it Evanilson?
I think Evanilson was the other guy, yes. And
yeah, it would probably be a better option than Evanilson. That we're probably not even going to play him during the Copa America. A guy also with experience in the Copa America. But overall, I think the biggest Casemiro, I would agree more. But overall, the biggest mistake to me is you bench Lucas Paqueta. I think he's a good player, Paqueta. I just don't think his head is in the right place right now for obvious reasons. You put Rodrigo as the 10, which was somewhat what Neymar was playing for Brazil before he got injured. And you put Endrick up top. But we'll see. The thing is, Paraguay is a tough opponent. I would argue they're tougher than Costa Rica. They can defend well, but they have better players up top to punish. And Ciso and Miguel Miron are better than any forwards that Costa Rica had. So if Brazil doesn't really do a good job today, like they didn't do against Costa Rica, this could get ugly. And like you said, they were grouped in 2016. Um, and I don't know. I'm kind of like still a little worried about the U.S. and I don't need Brazil and the U.S. getting grouped because at least in
Yeah.
2016 the U.S. did make it to the semifinals. We beat Ecuador in the quarters and then we got ran over by Messi's Argentina, but that's fine. I can deal with that.
The biggest thing too with Paraguay specifically is that they play the kind of defense that Costa Rica plays, but on steroids because they have better players around that system. On top of, as you mentioned, Enciso and Almiron on the wings who can finish. Their coach is a little bit of a hothead when it comes to dealing with the press and even during games as well too. He's kind of like Abel Ferreira, but a light Diet Coke version of Abel Ferreira. So we'll see what happens in that regard. I just know that this is kind of a defining game for this Brazil national team in this cycle, in my opinion. Like they need to show something because having Colombia as your last game, even if they are qualified with the 6 points they have and they decide to rest some of their starters, that's still a tough national team to beat regardless. So you've got to go all out on this one and try to at least secure the points. That way, you're in a much better situation going into Tuesday or Wednesday when they're playing next?
Well, and you got to keep in mind that I think it's Tuesday. You got to keep in mind that Colombia, if they have the opportunity of eliminating Brazil in the group stage, they'll take it because they know Brazil has the talent and they're a team that can grow into the tournament. So if they're going to go to that game or they're not going to go, oh, let's just rest everyone and take it easy against Brazil. I would assume that Colombia would probably go, hey, we got an opportunity to knock out Brazil here. It's better to get rid of them now, or I don't know, they catch good form in the quarterfinals, we play them in the semis, and they knock us out. So that's what I think in terms of Colombia. So Brazil has to get the win today. They have to get the win today. Also, just for morale in general, Vinicius needs to put up a good performance. He's been dropping stinkers left and right for the Brazilian national team, and it's getting to his head. You can see it. It's getting to his head. I think that once he gets it going, we're going to see more of the Real Madrid version of Vinicius rather than the Brazilian national team version of it. I just don't see a world where Vinicius stinks for the Brazilian national team forever. I just don't see that. But just to give some guys, look, everyone here in the stream right now, make sure to drop a like in this video if you haven't already. Let's try to get the likes up. And my guest today, some of you probably should know him already. He's been for all the Brazil streams. Well, the Brazil streams, and he's been here for the Mexico stream. Chris from Brazilian Fury. The link to his YouTube channel is in the description. And eventually he will start doing live streams on his channel. Maybe.
We'll see at some point or another. I just need to find a specific theming and timing and all else in between and just see what happens with it.
Jordan St. Tack, besides Rio de Janeiro, what are good places to visit in Brazil? Jordan, it really depends on what you're into, right? If you're very much into beaches, I would go to the Nordeste of Brazil, which is the Northeast. You go up north like Salvador, or you just go to Recife. All those places have wonderful food, great beaches. If you're more into big cities with a lot of things to do, you can go to like São Paulo in Brazil, which would be the equivalent of like New York City of Brazil. Lots to do, great restaurants, concerts, nightclubs, soccer. It just really depends on what you're into. Rio de Janeiro, I would say, is one of those cities that kind of gets a little bit of everything from Brazil. You have the beaches, you have the nightlife, you have the big city vibes, restaurants, but it's also probably more chaotic than the average Brazilian city. So it just really depends on what you are into specifically. HMPH saying, do you think Brazil still has a chance and talent to win this tournament? I think they do have a chance to win the tournament. I think they do have the talent to win this tournament. It's more about getting it going. But of course, I think you agree with me, Chris, that there has been no evidence that Brazil can win this tournament so far. On paper, you look at Brazil's national team, it's better than Uruguay on paper. It's better than Colombia, two teams that people are putting as the top teams to win it with Argentina. So, yes, Brazil can and still has a chance. Today's a good day to make a statement. A dominant performance against Paraguay can set the tone. because you got to remember, Brazil can very well go on Tuesday and they can tie today and then on Tuesday beat Paraguay. Beat Colombia. And then everyone's going to say they're back. Joga Bonito's back. Brazil's winning the whole thing. Look, on paper, they can. It's just about getting it going and the coach figuring it out. I just don't trust Dorival that much.
Unfortunately, Dorival is just...
he's just mid.
Yeah. That's
he's not horrible. He's not horrible, but he's not good. It's just it's okay.
He's basically a stopgap manager until they find the next person, which is a problem when you are in the middle of a World Cup qualifying cycle.
Yeah, and then just before I answer the Weston McKennie, Eric Fuentes, a member of the channel. Thank you very much, everyone that joined the Patreon. That's a member of Tactical Manager TV. Everyone that subscribed, hit the like button, and everyone that subscribed to Brazilian Fury as well, because he's always helping here at the channel in these streams. And you guys have no idea how much this helps me. Otherwise, it's just me talking for 3 hours. Eric Fuentes said, Tac, Marquinhos gets over 81 passes, Bruno under 1.5 fouls. Marquinhos will probably get more than 81 passes, in my opinion. I think more. I think Brazil will be ball dominant, and Brazil likes to build out back. I would say Marquinhos gets over. Bruno over 1.5 fouls. Bruno Guimarães is kind of violent at times. I would say he would get over.
He's an over. He's an easy over on that for fouls.
Over.
He'll get at least 2 minimum.
I would say over on both of those picks. I would say over. Those would be my picks. And the game just started, by the way. So I'll put the timer on screen. And we will address Weston McKennie now. S27 saying, Tac, thoughts on the whole Weston McKennie situation? Am I crazy in thinking that he shouldn't be going out to a club mid-tournament? So he didn't go out to a club, okay? It's not really a club. It's a hookah lounge. You could say that is going out, right? There's a difference between Weston McKennie going out for dinner with his family and girlfriend after a game that we lost. I mean, he's still human and he should be allowed to go to a restaurant. But yes, when you're going to a place that's more like you're going like social, like you're going to a hookah lounge, right? You're not going really to just go grab a meal with your family and kind of like get your head out of the game. I am not very for him doing that, especially out of all the players, McKennie, that has a history of partying, and he seems to be a bit overweight for an athlete during the tournament for the U.S. men's national team. So I don't think it's a good look for him. Sometimes you have to read the room. I don't think he committed a crime. He didn't do anything illegal. There's no issue with that. And here comes Vinicius down the left. Cross goes in. Ooh, almost found that was Paqueta. But at the same time, sometimes you have to read the room, and you probably he shouldn't have done it. That's my opinion. He should not have done it. That's what I think. But Vinicius already looking a little explosive there down the left, finding Paqueta. That was a good play from Vinicius.
Mm-hmm.
Vinicius with the ball again. Going at him. Oh. Okay. Maybe Vinicius is waking up.
Got a little something going for him here. I'm just trying to get Vix to kind of get me closer to the feed side of the clock, because I'm a couple of seconds behind for some reason this time around, but I'll get it figured out.
This is what's funny. MML saying Brazil better than Colombia. This dude is such a clueless moron. MML, listen before you comment. Did I say Brazil's better than Colombia, or did I say Brazil's better than Colombia on paper? There's a difference. The game is not played on paper. Now, if you go position by position, I am sorry. Anyone that thinks Colombia is better than Brazil on paper, that person's the moron. If you go position by position, Brazil wins most positions on paper. Now, being better on paper does not mean you're a better team. And right now, Colombia is a better team than Brazil. They're playing a lot better than Brazil.
5 games unbeaten. Like, nobody, anyone who's taken a look at Colombia's record over the past 2 years, it's pretty obvious that Colombia is the better team in action. Because, as mentioned, you can talk about players and formations on paper all day long. It's the way that they perform on the field, and Colombia's talents have been performing better than Brazil's for the past 2.5 years at this point. So
I would say they've been performing better than Brazil for a year and a half. They weren't performing better than Brazil in 2022. Even though they weren't losing, Brazil was playing well going into the World Cup. So I would say Colombia's been better than Brazil in 2023 and 2024. But on paper, they are not. And I will die on that hill. They are not better on paper. You go position by position, they're not. But they're playing better. They're a better team right now. And you should probably listen before you comment something like that. Complete and utter nonsense right there. But Paraguay now with the ball. I'm at minute 340 right now. 341, 342,
Yeah.
343, 344.
Yeah, I'm at 338 right now. But yeah, it'll get it figured out. It's the feed, just being the feed.
If Brazil tie against Paraguay, are they cooked? Well, if Brazil ties against Paraguay, then they're going to have to beat Colombia on Tuesday. Are they cooked? No, but it's a very tough situation. I mean, we just talked about how Colombia hasn't lost the game in like 2 years. So they will have to pull that off. They will have to defeat Colombia. Is Brazil capable of defeating Colombia? Of course they are in a one-off game. But right now, there's no indication of that. Brazil hasn't proved that they're capable of beating this Colombian side. But so far, Brazil's moving the ball well. Vinicius looked bright in the first few minutes here. 2 good moments down the left already. Just 4 minutes into the game, but Vinicius looked good. But again, against Costa Rica, Brazil also started good. They started playing well. Brazil even scored a goal that was disallowed. It was fair, I guess. Who's more likely to change a coach after Copa America, U.S. or Brazil? Because of the current circumstances, I'd say the United States. Because if Brazil gets out of their group, which Brazil is still fully expected to do so, I don't think they're going to fire Dorival. Dorival is there. They're going to give him a shot. So I think Berhalter, because Berhalter might be fired. Like, if we lose on Monday, he should be fired. Here comes Brazil with Rodrigo. Back. Ooh, João Gomes over the crossbar. So I would say the U.S. is more likely to lose their coach, mainly because of the situation that the United States put themselves. Mainly because of that. But I do want to say one thing. If Brazil does get grouped, I can see Dorival getting fired right away, even though he just took over.
Yeah. The CBF is very impatient when it comes to replacing coaches. So that would be par for the course for them to do, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, for the person that's on stating what paper, we're talking hypothetically, tactics, stuff that you talk about in pregame. Please don't be a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell him. He was being a complete imbecile. He's like,
Jesus,
oh, this guy's a moron. He said Brazil's better than Colombia. It's like, no, we said that Brazil is better on paper. And anyone that disagrees with that is completely clueless. Brazil is better on paper. It's not debatable. It's honestly not debatable. The same way it's not debatable that Colombia is a better team right now. It's also not debatable right now. Jeff Carey saying, Tack, I enjoyed spending time with you in the jacuzzi last night. Great body. Jeff, 1, I didn't go in the jacuzzi last night. 2, I never went in the jacuzzi with you, Jeff, but thank you. Thank you.
The jacuzzi thing never happened.
Thank you for the super chat, not for the compliment, because I wasn't in the jacuzzi with you.
There's a difference between the two.
Yes, I'm saying thank you for the super chat. And the stadium is empty, man, in Vegas.
God, yeah,
This sucks, man. This is a Friday night in Vegas. Vegas is probably full. It's also the summer. In Vegas, Friday night, and this game is empty. Probably poor marketing. It has to be.
Most likely. Although at the same time, it could be a situation too where like maybe people will show up like during halftime or whatever because they've got something to do. So, I mean, oh well, that's on Copa America. That's really on just both organizations for not marketing this properly in that situation. Oh,
yeah, people are saying ticket prices. It could be, but at the same time, you can put the tickets as low as you want. If people don't know it's happening,
exactly.
It doesn't matter. Jeff, I was not in the jacuzzi with you, Jeff. Did we really not hit 100 likes yet? We still didn't hit 100? Okay, I'm going to check here. Hold on. I'm going to click on the stream and see. I'm going to
I almost think Eric has a point in which it almost feels like they put Brazil kind of out of range because it really, while there are certain Brazilians like Californians spread out west, most of the kind of like Brazilian expats that are coming in and like living in the US mostly tend to be in the East Coast from my experience, whether that's Boston, Orlando, New York, So just like probably would have been a good idea to put Brazil in the East Coast cycle, to be honest. See if they
I'll
could draw a little bit
actually,
draw that way.
I'll actually even reinforce your argument. Not just Brazil. I'll say most South American immigrants live in the East Coast. Ecuador, Brazil, Argentina, a lot of them are in Miami. Colombians too in this area. We saw Brazilians pack it here in Orlando for a friendly. And then we also saw Colombians pack the stadium against the U.S. in D.C. So
Yeah.
I thought the Copa America should have been all in the East Coast. All in the East Coast. It's also easier to travel, so it's just better for the fans. Because the U.S. is such a big country, it gets a little annoying.
And there's enough stadiums in the East Coast to do it too. You could also do like not just games, obviously, as you mentioned, like Orlando and stuff, and some of the locations they have, like Miami, New Jersey, etc. You could also do something in North Carolina as well. Use their American football stadium to do it on as well too. There's options in Atlanta as well, outside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, if you need to have a city that hosts 2 games at the same time, kind of thing. So.
Oh, there are plenty of options. You can also use college stadiums. There
Yes.
are plenty of options, and MLS stadiums, like the smaller ones, like Orlando City. There's 2 games. You could have put more games in the Orlando City Stadium. You could have used the Red Bull Arena. They 100% could have done it all in the East Coast, and that would have been better for South American fans and for the fans in general, just in terms of traveling. Right? Like if you want to watch Brazil and Argentina, you can't. You literally can't, because you'd be having to go from the East Coast to the West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Doesn't work, man. Just doesn't work.
It doesn't.
So,
especially in the United States, which I think a lot of people underestimate the size of it and how long it takes to travel, even just by airplane. So, and it's brutal.
Yeah,
like
it should have all been in the East
cheap.
Coast.
Yeah, airfare isn't cheap. Car rides ain't cheap. But yeah, I do agree. Like an East Coast tournament would have worked out really, really well, I think, for this for the particular semantics of the Copa America. Yeah, East Coast for sure.
And then Cubo Maker saying, will you stop covering the U.S. men's national team if Greg stays? Well, that's up for debate. If we do get grouped and Greg Berhalter stays, I do have to reevaluate what I do with my life. Because if the federation is going to be that much of a joke, if we do get grouped and he stays, I will have to rethink it. Now, otherwise, who knows? We'll see. Let's wait till Monday. Guys, the U.S. is not eliminated yet. There's even a scenario where the U.S. advances tying Uruguay. There's a scenario that happens. But remember, Panama won't have Carrasquilla. That's a pretty big deal for them. And then if Bolivia plays a low block, I don't know. It could end up in a draw. It's up. It's up there. We're not out. That's the thing. The United States. And Julian Viva is saying, did you see the video Lance Sports yesterday? Who is Lance Sports? Who is Lance Sports? Lance Sports. What is the video from Lance Sports? Let's see. The guy with 4 subscribers?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you have like the exact name of the video itself too? We can look into it a little bit easier that way, Julian.
Yeah, I don't know. And then they're saying, MLS not pausing for Copa America was so dumb. Dude, I even forgot MLS was going on. I haven't watched an MLS game since like Copa America and the Euro started. I haven't watched a single MLS game. If only Bolivia played in Denver. But Denver's altitude is not bad enough.
No. As someone who lives in Denver, like Bolivia would still be at a disadvantage because it's only half of their regular altitude, not entirely. Oh, something happened to Almeida.
Oh, he just got hit by the ball. He just got hit by the
ball.
Ooh,
it took it right in the chin. That's tough.
Yeah, it hurts, but he'll survive.
Hopefully he'll be okay. Yeah. That's brutal. That's brutal nonetheless, though.
Yeah, John's saying Orlando's literally playing right now. Yeah, I honestly don't care about MLS right now. Also, most of the MLS games in the regular season don't matter that much. So close to the playoffs, I'll watch it again, and then I'm following some prospects too. I do know that there's an MLS prospect that's going to leave the league right now, like this week. It's going to be announced. I just can't tell you guys the name. He's a dual national.
Okay. So like a separated. in that case.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I see somebody that's close to 5K. That's like specifically like a Brazilian channel on their side of the spectrum. So, all right.
So Lance Sports. Wait, but who is?
There was a
But I put
space
it.
in between the two names.
But I
at
put it
least-
together. I can't find any Lance Sports.
Yeah, I found one separated, Lance Sports. And then it's like 4.6 for subscribers that they have. I mean, it's something we can look into like after the stream in this case, Julian. But I mean, were they angry about the US game specifically or Brazil's game against Costa Rica, just to be more precise? Thank you for the super chat, though. I appreciate it on Talk's behalf.
Jeff Carey saying, work out a special Zesty Patreon deal with you.
No.
Jeff, I'll send you a tactical manager jersey. That's the best deal I can give you. Oh my God, Paraguay almost scored. Saved by Allison. It was a long shot.
My Vic speed is still a couple seconds behind yours, but I just saw the chance. Yeah. I mean, it's from long distance. I think Allison still had that, but yeah, that's a big chance.
It deflected. Yeah. That's why it was a tough save. It deflected off.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it. But I mean, at the same time, a deflection did beat Allison in that Croatia game in the World Cup too. So there is that. Jonesy Sports. With the J instead of an L.
Okay, now I can look it up.
I mean, as mentioned, that's probably something we can take a look into, like after the watch along here. Yeah, now I see it. Where USMNT fan reaction: US loses to Panama 2-1. Fire Greg Berhalter is the title.
He seems to be like a football fan. He's talking about the Bills fan. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. So he's from Buffalo, New York.
So you'd think they'd be used to suffering by now, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I can't see anyone that's not furious right now, besides a few shills from the Federation and MLS. Jeff will get the jersey that I wore. I don't know about that.
Questionable.
They're saying this Brazil is an amazing paper team. It is on paper. It is good on paper. You guys can try to clown that take all you want. You can try to clown that take all you want. This Brazilian team on paper is strong. Allison is one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
That's the point we were making all along, and I'm sorry that you're too obtuse to realize that.
What is going on, guys? Like, on paper, you look at these players, like where they're playing, how they're performing for their clubs, what clubs they play for. It's a tremendous team on paper, but we talked about this before, that the game ain't played on paper. Vinicius on a one-on-one again. They triple team him. Triple team. One more, and that's an orgy right there. Well, already it is an orgy. That's 4 guys already. Paraguay recovers the ball.
People, but that's neither here nor there.
No, and now Brazil in possession. Savio gets fouled by the Paraguayan player. Not really a dangerous free kick, but...
No, but still, it's good positioning for a set piece, I guess.
Brazil central midfield strong enough. I mean, Bruno Guimarães is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. I'm not exaggerating. He is among the best midfielders in the Premier League. João Gomes is a pretty average Premier League midfielder. Vinicius blows by his defender. Oh, gets fouled. No, he's still up. Still up.
Ooh,
tries to nutmeg, gets
up. But
Vinicius is far more aggressive today. Seems like he wants to
actually do something on this one. Admittedly, yeah, he's playing with a lot more fire in this one so far. Let's just see how long that does go for.
What about an orgy? No, guys, don't worry about that. I make a lot of sex jokes. You should ignore half of them. This is one of the...
Eric, yes, Savio is starting. Yes. Oh, Eder goes out. Let's see. I'm at 18:03, 04, 05 right now. Talk, are you a couple seconds ahead of me, I'm assuming?
I'm seeing Vinicius' replay, so I don't know my time. It doesn't show.
Yeah. It's showing on mine as like 15, 16, 17.
18:21, 18:22,
Okay,
23.
so I'm only like 2 or 3 seconds behind you
Oh,
now.
that's not noticeable. Then we're in the same. The stadium seems to be filling up a little bit. Not
Yeah.
as empty, but still empty.
Yeah. At the very least, I think our timing is not too far from each other where somebody's super far ahead of the other, so I am good with that. I just had to refresh a couple of times to get it all, try to get that as synced as humanly possible. But we're both still, I think, quite at least like 15 seconds behind the actual clock here on the channel. So I'm sure we'll get spoilers from the chat if big things happen, which is cool.
Soccer fandom is also really funny, right? Because they're all shitting on our take about Brazil being good on paper, which I don't know why they would do that because it's so obvious. But let's say Brazil, we talked about this before, Brazil might even tie today, and then they beat Colombia. If they beat Colombia on Tuesday, the narrative shift is going to be insane. It's going to be, oh, Brazil are title contenders. They can win it all again. It's like it just changes because of one stupid game. Everyone changes the opinion, even though, like, nothing changed. It's the same players. It's the same coach. It's the same team everyone's shitting on.
Yeah.
And Gaming is asking Tack, Aiden Morris, what's your opinion on his move to England? Hey, good for him. Gonna go challenge himself. It's the second division of England. Might be good for him to transition from MLS to the second division of England. I'm rooting for him. I'll be following Aiden Morris. I'll be rooting for him, and we'll see how he does. He's moving to Middlesbrough. We'll see. We'll see. Played well in MLS for the Columbus Crew. I don't know much about Middlesbrough. That's the thing. I can go on and bullshit you and talk a bunch of crap about Middlesbrough. I don't know much. I believe Michael Carrick is their coach, but I don't know much about Middlesbrough.
So I can fill in on that a little bit. Middlesbrough last season was 8th place in the championship in the second tier. So they're actually sort of like a almost in the top 6, like playoff contenders for promotion kind of thing. So if they do as well as they did this past season, they could be possible. At the very least, they're a very good sort of like top half side in the championship from last season. So could be, as I mentioned, a good move for him, better challenge, and hopefully an improvement to his game on top of it.
And then let's see if I didn't miss here. And then Matt Pollockun said, how did you and Pete meet, Tack? We actually met through YouTube. To make the short story quick, well, first of all, guys, this is not Pete, okay? You all should know this. We have Chris here. But Pete from 11 Yanks, we were both doing when we started the YouTube channel, we were doing a live stream for the MLS Cup final. And then some of the viewers were like messing around with me, messing around with him. And then they just like, oh, you two should collab. You two are the biggest channels covering the U.S. men's national team. You two should collab. Then we collabed and we talked to each other and we got along very well. So that's honestly it. That's it. Not a very interesting story. A Tinder. Yeah, me and Pete met on Tinder.
Tinder.
Is it swipe right or left?
It would have been swipe right in that situation.
Swipe right. Yeah, we just swiped right and me and Pete met on Tinder. That's the real story. What I told you is just a fake story. Vinicius, that would be a foul or a corner?
Corner or foul? I guess they're calling it a corner. Okay.
Tack, you and Pete met at a gay bar. No, we didn't, Jeff. We didn't. We didn't meet at a gay bar. I'll tell you one thing. I actually never been to a gay bar. Just really honestly, I haven't been to a gay bar.
I have. They're fun. I will say that from experience. They play much better music than the straight bars do.
They
100%.
Probably dance better than the straight bars too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. 100%. The funniest thing about that experience is that I actually went to go see a wrestling show at a gay bar that they were holding there, like a whole kind of gimmick thing over in Los Angeles. And before we were at that show, before it started, they were having like a huge, like, kind of get together for, I think it was a season premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race, and just like, they were popping for that in the best way. It was a ton of fun to watch.
So this is what I should do. I should take Mariana to a gay bar. That way she can just dance and I'll know no guys will be hitting on her and I can just relax. I don't like dancing too much. So I can just sit down and have a drink and she can go dance on her own.
Yeah.
Or even dance with the guys. If they're all gay, I don't care. Well, one day we'll go. One day we'll go. But they're saying Frank Kessler, that was mullet. Pete, yeah, Pete had a mullet. Did you know that?
Good times.
I think it's because I think he got the haircut for like some acting gig that he had, and because of COVID, he couldn't get a haircut,
Oh,
so
that's
he got
tough.
stuck. He got stuck with the mullet.
Okay, João Gomez there with kind of a good play, a little bit of common ball with some pushing and shoving, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna go back to talking about the game. I don't know why gay bars became a topic, but we're going back to the game here. Back to the game.
It's because of Jeff. 9 times out
Oh
of 10,
yeah.
if we're deviating off topics because of Jeff.
I just noticed this that we do way too many sex jokes here during the live streams, and I just noticed that Jeff is guilty of like 70 or 80% of them.
85 minimum.
85. I think the only one I have is when we hit minute 69. I say nice.
Actually, no, calling it 69% from the get-go would have been the better joke here, but we blew it. So, back to the game at this point as they are fighting for the ball.
Oh, good ball. Good ball.
Oh,
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo.
Oh, Rodrigo. That was terrible. He scores those for Real Madrid. He got dispossessed by the Paraguayan player.
Paraguay working the ball on the right-hand side here.
Doesn't it feel like Rodrigo's much more dangerous for Real Madrid and better in tight spaces?
Yeah, that's another guy that, again, on his side of the spectrum, I do think that with the national team, they should maybe be trying to play him either in what is normally Neymar's position now, especially with him being injured, but also maybe trying him as a center forward outright. Because the thing is, him and Hafing, I believe, both have the same amount of caps. I think, what now, 25, 26, and they only have like 6 goals each. So kind of the goal scoring stuff with this Brazil national team is an issue up front right now with the guys that they do have in this Copa America roster, which again, it goes back to our point. Why is Endrick not starting? Like, if he doesn't do well in this Copa America, it is what it is, but at least you're trying an actual center forward at the center forward position to try and score those goals. But
Brazil also defends in a 4-4-2 formation. I think it would be better for us just to play in a 4-4-2 formation also. You can just leave Vinicius and Rodrigo up top. That's another option. We've seen Ancelotti do that with Real Madrid when they didn't really have a center forward.
I guess if you're going to be soccer terrorists and play soccer terrorist formations is kind of the next step up at that point. But,
so I forgot who it was, but they wanted to do the picks. It was about Bruno Guimarães getting the fouls.
And he already got one foul.
Does Bruno have a foul already?
From the looks of it, yeah, he did commit a foul.
Earlier.
No, yeah, not this one, but before that.
And Marquinhos right now has how many passes? I'll tell you. Marquinhos already has 28, and we're still halfway through the first half. He's getting over 81.
Yeah, he's getting over 81. And then for Josh, who asked this question, why do you think some players don't succeed on their national team as they do on a club level? I think a lot of it is just the fact that when you get a different coach and a different coach on the national level plays a different style compared to your club level, some players can adapt to that like fish in the water. Some don't. It can be a variety of factors that play a hand into it as well. Plus, cohesion between certain teams sometimes may not be the best, especially if a lot of these players aren't familiar with playing in the same leagues against each other or with each other, depending on where they're coming from. There can be a lot of factors to it, in my opinion.
It's case by case, essentially. It's case by case. The thing is, like, the ultra talented players usually just adapt and fit in regardless of what you put. But some players are system players. Some players just have better chemistry with their club teammates. It's case by case. It's case by case. And sometimes, like you said, coaching, it's very complicated. With Brazil, sometimes it could also be pressure. Playing for the Brazilian national team, there's a lot of pressure and scrutiny that comes with it in Brazil. A lot. The media there is relentless and over-exaggerated. Fan base, social media. So there's a lot that goes to it. It's just case by case. And Vex is saying, what are your underdog picks? I didn't make any picks for this game, actually. So There are no picks. No picks for this game. But someone asked in the chat about like Marquinhos, for example, getting over 81 passes. I said over. And then Bruno Guimarães getting over 2 fouls. I said over also.
Yeah. And Degemi and Blades bringing a good point where Brazil, they seem to be looking for the perfect shot and are giving defenders time to recover. Exactly. And Paraguay's defenders are, in my opinion, better than Costa Rica's defenders. So that recovery time is going to be a lot quicker. Like sometimes you just got to try to throw a shot on net like Paraguay's doing right now and see what happens.
Isn't it interesting how Brazil can't seem to figure out, but Ancelotti with Real Madrid, he figured out how to, Vinicius is through.
Oh, he is through.
Good pass. Terrible shot. Deflected. Penalty kick. Penalty for Brazil. Penalty kick for Brazil. It's a handball. And they're not complaining, so it's probably blatant.
Yeah, I think the arm was stuck on in like the unnatural position. Hit him like right over here, and that was quick though. So let's see it on replay.
Yeah, the players are not complaining that much, so it might be kind of. It was Bruno Guimarães. I'm watching the replay.
With the shot here. I
don't know, man.
I don't think so. Ooh, it kind of seemed to catch him like right under the ribs. Looking at the replay here in this case, rather than.
Is that actually a penalty?
Not sure. Jeff. Chris, we should do a live chat together. I have a large, enthusiastic, sexy audience. We could do shirtless Saturdays. I don't think you can afford my rate, buddy.
What my audience, in advance. Okay, never mind. Don't tell me your audience, actually, Jeff. Keep it to yourself. So Paqueta will take the penalty, not Vinicius?
Okay, so I guess they reviewed it on VAR and it's a PK. All right. Okay, then.
Well, Chris, Jeff's invitation is open.
It is, but I do have a rate for these sorts of things, and I just don't think he can afford it. No, I will not go into details as to what that rate is live on a stream.
It's whatever he can't afford. It's whatever he can't afford. Okay, Paqueta for the penalty kick here.
I'm just kind of looking at the screen on the other side here to see the penalty clearly.
Oh, he missed. He
Jesus Christ.
Someone check his bank account. Allegedly. Gambling allegedly.
Jesus Christ, man. Come on. Like, let Rodrigo or even Vinicius get a shot at. They'll do at least a little bit better than this. Holy crap.
It should have been Vinicius because he needs to get goals, needs to get it going.
Yeah, no kidding. Just,
this is bad. It's also not good for the morale of the team. We're struggling to score goals, and you need to get that one goal to get things going, and then Paqueta wastes the penalty kick. Oh, my God. How much I miss Neymar. I miss Neymar so much.
But yeah, the momentum basically swings to Paraguay at this point. And you can tell immediately from the way they're moving around.
Yeah, anyone that thought that Neymar wouldn't be missed by Brazil.
You had a bet on to miss the pen. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't. Allegedly, if that is the case, if he is allegedly guilty of those accusations, then yes, I wouldn't be surprised if he's put a few parlays on stuff like this, even here. Because I guess if you're going to get banned from football for so many years, you might as well just make all your money while you can or something. I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah, that's Paraguay to go in.
It's crazy how disrespected Neymar actually is, right? you're seeing right now how much he carried this team for years. Years and years and years, scoring clutch penalty kicks, scoring clutch goals. And it's funny when I hear some crazy arguments about Brazil and Neymar when they say, but Neymar doesn't show up for the national team. He quite literally mainly shows up for the national team. It's quite literally the main thing he does.
Yeah. Like, even when his form wasn't that good or he was getting injured consistently at PSG, at the very least, we Brazilians could be like, well, if he gets called up to the national team for like this friendly or this Copa America or this World Cup, he'll show up for it. And yeah, 9 times out of 10, he always did. As much as I don't like him as a human being, personally, there is a difference between that and me thinking of his abilities as a footballer. As a footballer, he's been one of the best in the world. It's just age and injuries have caught up with him at this point to where I don't know what kind of player he's going to be after this ACL recovery happens. So
yeah, but the way it seems like is like even if Neymar's on one leg, this team could use him. One leg Neymar would be better.
At this point, you almost think that that be the case. But then again, at the same time, Neymar on one leg, that just means every single team is just going to try to tackle him like 10 to 20
Vinicius,
times.
Vinicius.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Good. Get your confidence back at this point. Like, let this, like, if anything, see a moment like this and just start popping off. He needed this badly, but great recovery from the missed penalty. Great recovery, but plenty of game to still be played. But yeah, happy. Look, for as much as we've crapped on Vinicius Jr., and I think rightfully so, I'm happy for the guy getting his goal like this. Hopefully, there be many, many more to come.
He tried like a rainbow flick, and it was kind of embarrassing, but he made up for it in this play.
Mm-hmm. Great 1-2 there initially. That's got to be a weight off his shoulders, too, on top of that, finally scoring a goal for the first time in years. For the national team, I should emphasize.
It's kind of crazy how Vinicius could win a Ballon d'Or, but he's not like, I don't know, man. I don't think he's close to Neymar. I don't think it is. I think there's a big gap between those two.
Also, calling Vinicius Jr. a skinny Patrice O'Neal, that's just rude. Come on now. I get where you're coming from with that, but come on. But yeah, I wonder if it's almost a situation too where somebody in Spain told him, hey, Vinny, you kind of better start scoring for the national team, where Jude might win the Ballon d'Or this year, and he kind of got the memo finally on that. And Zequiam asking, and that's a super chat, by the way, Talk. Serious question, Brazil won the 2019 Copa without Neymar? Yes, it was kind of miraculous in and of itself. But I mean, Gabriel Jesus was playing like no other at that time. Coutinho was still in form.
Everton Cebolinha too, out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. There were a couple of guys that really showed up for Brazil in that particular Copa. It also helped that we did host it as well too, on top of it, and that there were crowds to go with that too.
Well, it also helps that the entire CONMEBOL was ass at the time. Argentina was terrible at the time.
Yeah, Argentina was also still choking finals during that time. This was before they won the 2021 Copa America, then won the Cup, and kind of rewrote Messi's whole like history of choking with the national team that he'd had for a decade prior. So,
yeah, and anyone asking, Vinicius Jr. now officially has 4 goals for the national team only. This was his 4th goal in, I believe, 31 games, 31 caps. He scored 4 goals only. So he really needed this goal. He needs to get it going. He has been very aggressive today and looking fairly good, to be fair, Vinicius. As I said before, he is no Neymar, but he kind of has to be as close as possible to Neymar.
It's like this, as we mentioned, this is the kind of the phase of the national team here in the cycle where they have to step up and show that they are more of a team overall than just, a team that's carried by one player kind of thing. And I think Ben Fast just said Rivaldo was GOAT. As somebody who watched him play for Palmeiras and actually saw him live back in like 1994, when he was with our team there, already a world talent back then, and then just grew strength into strength over those years after. So big fan of Rivaldo. Cafu, Roberto Carlos, also phenomenal players as well. R9, probably my favorite player of all time still to this day. So
R9 is the greatest center forward to ever play this game.
Plain and simple, no questions asked.
For anyone that doesn't understand, he was probably as strong as like Cristiano Ronaldo, as fast as Mbappe, and clinical in front of the goal. He was an incredible player, crazy dribbling ability too.
Even with the injuries that happened, like that still doesn't change my opinion that he was the greatest center forward to ever play the game outright. Without those injuries, he get the Ballon d'Ors and the other Champions Leagues and all those accolades that a lot of people in this current era use to measure like the greatness of a player, in my personal opinion.
So, he still got 2 Ballon d'Ors, right? Or 3?
Yeah, I mean, but I think there would be more on top of that. Like the same numbers that CR7 and Messi have done over the years, I think Ronaldo would be maybe not as much, but similar. I think he'd have at least 3 if he'd been fully healthy for a couple more seasons.
Probably more, yeah, because you got to remember he was out injured for the first patella injury on his knee for 2 years.
Yes.
It was 2 years. The guy was out for 2 years. And then he re-injured it. He got worse. It was pretty bad, but if you go back to the 90s and you watch him from 96,
Cruzeiro, yeah, from like the Cruzeiro era, basically, until
PSV to Barcelona, 97, 98. If you watch the 98 World Cup, that guy was the best player in the World Cup until he had like a epileptic attack before the final.
Just the situation in the final, just like it sucks, and it shows just like how human these players are, and that stuff like that can happen to anybody. If anything, it made the Paraguay.
What was that? What was Miguel Almiron doing?
Almiron just kind of like lost control of that one and just didn't know what to do with it. That's lucky for us.
What is he doing?
Like for me specifically, the more that I think about it is if R9 came in this modern era where physios are better, where the technology for healing from injuries is better, nutrition is better, and all those aspects, he'd be the same tier that we talk about guys like Mbappe, Haaland, CR7, Messi, and things of that nature. So,
oh yeah, R9 absolutely, especially now, maybe even more nowadays because we're all like, there's not that many good. Well, there's good center forwards, but we have less than we had in the past. Teams need it more. He'd be worth more today. Vinicius dispossessed. Rodrigo with the ball to Vinicius. Because when we talk about Neymar, for example, if you go back to the 2021 Copa America where Brazil lost, the best player in the final was Neymar. He was the best performer. He was incredible that game. He was by far the best. But no one talks about that because Brazil lost 1-0. Messi actually didn't play well. Oh, golaço. Ooh, hit the post.
Oh!
What a rocket.
Rodrigo almost made that 2-0. All right.
Was that Rodrigo that shot it? I don't think it was Rodrigo.
That was.
Oh, crap.
Let's double check. Yeah, if the...
Hold on, my streaming went down. Let me try on the tablet here. Something
okay. Wait. Check.
Go.
Savio.
Tell me what's happening. My streaming went down. Fuck.
Yeah, Savio just scored 2-0. Let's go.
2-0. Good.
All right. I think they got their confidence back. Finally.
Okay, let me get this back here. I'm going to reset.
Yeah, go for it. I'll keep an eye out on chat in the meantime. Let's see if we missed anything. No super chats missed since
okay, now I'm seeing the goal here.
One. But yeah. Okay, hold on. Is somebody S27 Zlatan was Brazilian? I think people would talk about him like they do for Ronaldo.
No.
I think the problem is it depends on what era he would have come to Brazil. Because remember, Brazil had a plethora of talent at certain points throughout the years to where Zlatan could have been like a fourth or fifth wheel, depending on what era. If it's just like, I think for the regular time, I don't know. It would be interesting to gauge.
Was he not off in the goal? Because Rodrigo shoots it. Was Savio not off?
I guess from the looks of it, chat is saying that it is a goal. They are examining it on VAR right now on our footage on our side of the streaming spectrum. So, yeah, given the way the play looked, it could be offside. You're right.
Yeah, I'm still waiting here.
For it.
Yeah, I don't think the goal's going to stand. I mean, they're still checking, but I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, it did. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they just kicked off again. So Bud Picker, after last night's US performance, can I become an honorary Brazilian?
Yes.
You must first be invited to a churrasco, but yes, we will gladly have you.
Yeah, we got you. Learn like 1 or 2 Brazilian songs and you're good to go. And learn how to make a picanha. Picanha is easy to make. It's just salt. Very coarse salt that you put on it. And you barbecue it. But right now, 2-0 Brazil. The goal does stand. So the goals were scored.
Seeing it from where it is now is just that the deflection from the Paraguayan defender, and Savio was on side even before that. So yeah, we're good. Cool.
I have someone in the chat's talking about the antenna. I have an antenna. I just don't put it on because it's easier to stream it. But I can put the antenna. I might actually, I'm going to make a new studio, change my background and everything. I might just set up the antenna because the thing is, everyone's saying put on an antenna. But usually during the season, I watch mostly the European games and MLS in Brazil. And those are not on the antenna. I have to get Peacock and I have to get Paramount Plus and I have to get the Apple TV. So that's why. But I do have an antenna because I used it in the World Cup. I do have one. No, guys, I legitimately have an antenna. I'll put it on. I'll get the antenna after the Copa America, not during the Copa America. I don't feel like doing it now. Or maybe I'll do it during the Copa America, maybe. But I have an antenna.
Get this to 1,000 likes and give TAC like a $20 donation. You'll set up the antenna for the next game against Colombia.
I'll do it just for 1,000 likes.
Oh,
okay, good.
Getting
good
a little cagey here. All right. Common Bull finally showing its colors. We're about here. Just full-fledged warfare. None of these nations really like each other. Eric Fuentes, eu falo pouco de português. Seu português está ótimo. Pelo menos escrevendo. Então, tudo beleza. The girls are fighting. Let's go.
Nah, there's no fight. They love each other.
Yeah, this is just typical Common Bull. This is what we're used to.
But guys, listen up. One thing: if Brazil gets a 4-0 lead, we might end the stream earlier because I do have to hit the road and drive about an hour still today. So if it's a big lead and Brazil's got it locked, me and Chris are resting. And no, I'm not going to the jacuzzi with Spicy Jeff.
Are you driving to Miami already to stay overnight for tomorrow's?
No, I'm actually not going tomorrow anymore. I'm driving to the west coast of east coast of Orlando for family stuff.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, but yeah. I'm not going to Miami anymore because Messi ain't playing. So I talked to.
Oh, okay, yep. Never mind then.
Yeah, we talked to the AC Momento guys that they were gonna like get the tickets and everything, and fight. They are fighting. They're still fighting. Is this fight ever going to end?
This is where you convince them about the Houston trip if Argentina versus Mexico comes true to see if they'll comp at least your flight there so you can do the vlog.
That is true.
4D chess. 4D chess here, buddy.
That's a good one right there. I might do that.
Honestly, with the way that this argument is going, just send everybody to the locker room and end the half here. There's no point in keep playing.
Tell them to cool off, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Off. They're saying Ben Fast. Aren't you that guy talking about Pro? Where did you disappear? But Ben Fast. Ben Fast is in the chat.
Yeah, he's been in the chat pretty much since the beginning, man.
Ben Fast. I don't see Ben Fast. Do you see
him?
Sorry, I see him right
Eric.
here. Ben Fast.
Yep. Looks like an 11 p.m. Mexican league.
Is Ben Fast the Pro Rel guy from Twitter?
This is Common Ball, basically, in a nutshell. And Eric, what I meant to say was that your written Portuguese is excellent, so you're all good on that. That's what I meant by what I said. So
do you know what was Brazil's expected goals for the first half? Oh, they had a penalty. That's why. It was 2.6. That is really high for the first half. Really high at 2.6 expected goals.
Yeah.
Essentially, also, we're saying dominant performance.
So far into it, yes. But yes, finally the ref decides to send him out to start play back up again. But like, just whistle this one, man. Send it to the locker room. Tensions are already running high. You don't want this to escalate any further. Unless... Oh! Wow!
Yeah, nothing. Just play it on.
Vinny! Again!
Wait, goal?
This man is about to get the same amount of goals in one single game that he has in his entire national career. That's crazy.
Ooh, that was a bit of a lucky goal, but good press.
You know what? Brazil might as well be doing some of this. Like, don't get fancy with it. Just get bodies to the net and try to get shots. Sometimes stuff like this happens. Very good pressing from Vini in that situation there. Paraguay's defenders just did not play that well at all. Like, the guy didn't even see Vini coming from, like, his left. Yeah, Alderete just made a huge mistake on that one. They're trying to, not just booting that to the side kind of thing. But, yeah, one more goal and we can call this one early, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can call it a night early if it keeps going like this. But this is actually a game Brazil very much needed. Especially Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. I am glad that Vinicius Jr. is proving us wrong from all the shit we gave him in the Costa Rica stream.
Well, I am
happy to be
wrong. I don't think he's proving us wrong. The criticism was towards him not playing at the level that he can, and now he's playing at the level that he can. We never doubted that he can play at this level.
Yeah, but it's just like, let's do more of that. Definitely. Mm-hmm. More of that, more often. Yes.
Great response to all the criticism, right?
Yeah, good. The best half that they could ask for after the mishap against Costa Rica, but now is just trying to maintain that energy for the second half and not letting Paraguay get one or two chances where they can try to get back into it.
And then they're gonna keep talking about it, like, is Brazil so back now? Are we so back?
Again, I like this performance against Paraguay right now, but I would like to see how they do against Colombia before I make a full judgment on how they're going to do if they do, pass on for groups and go to the quarterfinals kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact is, Uruguay's look good. Argentina's look good on their side of the spectrum there, even though they kind of have a cakewalk to the final, personally. So...
Well, and here's the situation also of the group right now. Costa Rica has 1 point, Paraguay has 0, and Paraguay has a terrible goal differential. Brazil with this result is pretty much qualified, I would say. Pretty much.
They would have to Costa Rica pulls a miracle and then the goal differential, yeah, but this result pretty much helps.
Costa Rica cannot beat Paraguay by like more than 2 goals. They can't do it. If they beat Paraguay, it'll be like a 1-0, 2. They could beat Paraguay. That could happen, but it would be like 1 or 2-0. That means if they get a 2-0 win, let's even change it. Let's say Costa Rica gets a 3-0 win, which probably won't happen. Brazil would have to lose 4-0 to Colombia, which also won't happen. So People forget Brazil drew Spain in Madrid recently. Well, Brazil defeated England at Wembley, and Brazil drew Spain in Madrid. Mainly
They
what
did
people are
not look
talking
good in
about.
the Yeah, and I mean they did not look good initially in that game against Spain, but in the second half they did get it together and eventually drew it. But
Yeah, that's the main thing with Brazil. And then Prayden Pan CT, thank you for becoming a member of the channel here at Tactical Manager TV. We truly appreciate it. Thank you
good
very
job.
much.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Always nice to get members.
Winoke Gonzalez, can you talk? There's breaking news. Darwin Nunez from Uruguay just said that he can't wait to kick USA out of his Copa America. He's underestimating us. I don't know.
He said that?
I don't think Nunez is even playing that game. I reckon if Bielsa decides to rotate players, it'll be Luis
Nah,
Suarez
Bielsa's
up
a
front.
freaking psychopath, man. He's playing the best.
Could happen, yeah.
Wait, did he actually say that?
Yeah, like if you have a link to an article or like the article name, or if it's on social media, like I guess we can look into that later. But the thing is, I do agree. A couple of folks are saying in terms of like it doesn't matter if Brazil gets a second or first, they still have to play Colombia, Uruguay, and Argentina to get a cup. Yeah, it is a murderer's row that they would have to get through in order to get to the finals, let alone winning a Copa America in and of itself, which is why I'm sort of annoyed Argentina sort of has a less chaotic path to the final. But
yeah, I can't find anything on Darwin Nunes saying that he wants to knock out the United. I mean, I'm sure they all do. Why wouldn't they, right? Why wouldn't they?
yeah,
They especially under Bielsa, right? That guy does not let the level drop. Does not let the level drop. Let me see if I didn't miss anyone. Is saying, yeah, Bielsa, dude, Bielsa is such a freaking lunatic that he was beating Bolivia yesterday 5-0, and then they filmed him on the bench, and he was angry. I looked at that, and I was like, this mother licker is literally insane. He is insane.
He's determined to just go, no, unless you play my type of style of game perfectly, this doesn't work for me, brother, kind of situation. It's nuts.
No.
Let me just turn on the light here. Sorry. It's finally starting to get a little bit darker outside.
They're saying there's an article at marca.com. I'll check that soon. And someone asked, am I going to watch the
Mexico-Ecuador game?
Mexico-Ecuador. Yes, I'll be doing a live stream for that one. That's a crucial game. That would be a great game.
That's a crucial hate watch right there.
Why would that be missed? Ecuador. I actually have an Ecuador jersey here that Dustin gave me. I wear the Ecuador jersey.
Nice. Also, I'm going I'm going to run real quick to grab some more water, refill this up. I will be back in about 5 minutes or so.
Go ahead. And I got to look up here. Marca.com, Darwin Nunes. Yeah, if anyone can find the link, I'll gladly open the link here of Darwin Nunes saying he was going to kick the United States' ass. Julian Viva is saying, at this point, I want the United States men's national team to get grouped. It looks like Brazil has woken up. I will look forward to the Olympics. I understand that sentiment among many U.S. men's national team fans of wanting to get grouped and hoping that will get us rid of Berhalter, right? I can understand that sentiment, but what I will say is, one, there's no guarantee that Berhalter will be fired, and two, let's all be honest with ourselves. Once the game starts, do you guys really root against the U.S. men's national team? It doesn't really happen. It doesn't happen, right? I'm assuming. Ben Fast saying, but MLS won't allow a real manager. Yeah, there's still a lot of MLS influence going on with the federation, and that is a big issue. Berhalter is a puppet. There's no way that guy, that imbecile's in charge of the national team that way. Too much stupidity going on. So I don't know, man. Soccer United marketing is allegedly not involved anymore with U.S. soccer, which takes away a little bit of the influence from MLS in the federation. But MLS still has more voting rights than all other leagues combined. And they still have Don Garber in the board of U.S. soccer. There's a lot of issues with the U.S. Soccer Federation. I think that's where mainly the issues happen within U.S. soccer. That's the source. Andrew said, I just read the article right now, Tack. Darwin doesn't say anything at all. Okay, I figured. I
So
don't think
just
Bielsa would let him
shithousery right
say
now.
that. I don't.
Yeah. Mhm.
Bielsa wouldn't let him say something like that. But let me see here if I didn't miss anything in the chat. Good performance
There,
from Vinicius.
another super chat just came in. Talk.
What is it? Frank Casser saying, not comparing to Berhalter, but would be happy with Setien, Pioli, or Materazzo. I don't know about Pioli. I mean, I'll take any of them over Berhalter. Pioli with Milan, it was kind of like annoying to watch at times. But I would like to see Pellegrino Materazzo for multiple reasons. He was successful with Stuttgart, getting them up to the second division. Did a fine job in his first season. Then got
Yeah.
fired eventually from Stuttgart, which is normal. Club coaches most of them get fired unless you're like Pep Guardiola and those guys. And then he took over Hoffenheim, saved them from relegation. And unlike Jesse Marsch, after he saved them from relegation, he made them better. Like Jesse Marsch actually took Leeds, allegedly saved them from relegation, and then made them shit. And Pellegrino Materazzo is American. I'm not one of those guys that thinks that the U.S. coach has to be American. I think it has to be an outsider, someone not connected to Major League Soccer. And Materazzo is an American outsider. To me, that's the best scenario possible. Because, I mean, I think it is cool for your coach to be from your country. I do think that's cool. I don't think it's mandatory. I'm not crazy for that. But, I mean, if you could choose, if it's the same level, wouldn't you prefer the guy from your own country? If they're at the same level? Yeah, why not? But going through, as we said here, if Brazil does get a fourth goal here, even though with 3 goals, it's pretty much over at this point. But I'm not going to leave the stream yet. We're not going to end it yet because who knows? Paraguay can get an early goal in the second half, and all of a sudden it's game on. It's back. I mean, Chris, we saw that with Botafogo against Palmeiras. It looked like it was over in the first half.
Yep. 3 goals in 15 minutes by Botafogo in that game. Endrick gets one back. They get a red card. They miss a penalty kick. And then Palmeiras gets 3 goals within 15 minutes to pretty much make that a 4-3 game, to the point in which John Texter has the greatest meltdown I've seen happen on Brazilian TV in quite some time. And it was in a language that nobody there could initially understand either, which is hilarious.
Yeah, well, there was a Palmeiras player that walked by and he said, fuck you to John Texter.
I think it was Weverton, actually.
No, it was Jailson.
Oh, Jailson said, okay. Because I remember it had to be like one of those 3 that was just passing by and just like, fuck you. It's the funniest thing. Because I would have told him that too at that point. Like, me in particular, like out of the coaches mentioned there from that argument, Setien would be good if he can speak English just for like the language purposes, and so players kind of understand what he's on about. But his Villarreal stint wasn't that inspiring after he took over for Unai Emery at that time. So, I mean, I think at this point you probably take anybody over Berhalter. It's just a matter of how much better they do.
I think that Pellegrino Materazzo is probably the best option right now. American, so there's a direct connection to the national team. An outsider, so not really influenced by MLS in any way, shape, or form. Has worked with teams that were not like top dogs. He had to figure out, adjust, and improve them. He had to improve them, and he did improve them. And I always say this too. The Bundesliga teams are very well coached. I think that Premier League, a lot of the teams are not well coached in the Premier League. They just pour in money, loads of money, buy players, and not well coached. Bundesliga teams are very well coached. And here's the thing. Bundesliga is a transition league. A lot of teams play on the counterattack. And Materazzo has shown that he knows how to defend that and knows how to play on the counterattack if needed too, which I think for the US, it's the best way for us to play in transition, in my opinion. Materazzo's from New Jersey, so that helps. Yep. With U.S. soccer, being from New Jersey does help quite a bit. It does help quite a bit. They're saying this game is over. Pretty much. But we'll hang in there for a little bit. We'll give Brazil at least like 10, 15 minutes in the second half. But if I can end the stream earlier, it's even better for me because then I can hit the road and Chris can go enjoy his night to go to sleep. Any
I mean,
videos
yeah,
coming up? What's your next video?
So right now I'm working on another FM24 video, but in terms of my next video essay project, it's most likely going to be about the Grenal and just detailing that entire rivalry in Rio Grande do Sul, especially since there is a little more relevance with the situation there now, post the floods and Grêmio being so terrible and Internacional looking much better than they did last year as well, and just trying to kind of give the context of like there's heated rivalries in Brazil, and then there's these two fuckers in the South that are just trying to kill each other every single time they play, which is crazy.
What are you gonna? You need to make a good title for it to get people to click. That's a
Yeah.
good video idea, but you need to get a good title. I don't
Oh
know, like
yeah.
the
I'm
fiercest
still, I'm
rivalry in South
still,
America, something like that.
yeah, I'm still figuring it out because I think as a like demo title, I have it just as on my board as Grenal 115 years of hatred, but it can definitely be improved. I still gotta workshop that.
They're saying in Portuguese, when is the R an H? It seems inconsistent. When is the
The sound of ehi and aga. I think it depends on the word. Sometimes it depends on the area that you're from and the way that you say those words. Usually, the H tends to be silent on a lot of Portuguese words.
my writing in Portuguese is terrible. I can speak
Yeah,
good Portuguese, but I didn't study there enough to I can write in Portuguese and you'll understand it's okay, but there's a lot of spelling, so I'm not the right guy to go through that. And let's say Cole saying, how do you feel if we gave BJ Callahan the head coach job? I'll tell you this, over Berhalter, God, I'll take a dog at this point, but I think if we were to fire Berhalter right now and they said, hey, we're going to keep BJ Callahan for 6 months because we want to actually search a legit candidate, I'm okay with that. I would not be okay if they said, we're just going to keep BJ Callahan all the way till 2026. This World Cup is a freaking big deal, man. It's not a regular World Cup for us. We're hosting it. We have to go with the best possible coach that will give us the highest odds of doing something. And BJ Callahan seems like a great guy, seems like a better coach than Berhalter, but I would not have him as the 2026 coach. He has barely any head coaching experience besides being an assistant. So they're saying when the word starts with R, it sounds like an H in English. That's also the case for like carro, which means car in Portuguese. Carro, so carro. And Ronaldo in Portuguese would be Ronaldo. As if almost like when you're saying rojo, it's Ronaldo. See, I know that. Just my writing is ass.
Yeah, I mean, for me in particular, as I think I mentioned it in the past, but I was in Brazil until I was 13. So I just finished 7th grade when I then made my move to the US, like right at the beginning of 2001. So most of my like Brazilian education in terms of like reading, writing, and speaking goes to that level. So the writing portion and understanding like the grammar rules and stuff is admittedly limited. But I mean, the speaking part, I can do it just fine. I just have more of an American accent when I speak Portuguese now compared to like a Paulista accent, like what I used to have. So
I still have a good Carioca accent from Brazil. I think mainly because I interact with a lot of Brazilians here. So speaking wise, I talk a lot in Portuguese.
Yeah, usually for me, because I'm in Denver, there's not as many Brazilians. So usually my only chances to really use Portuguese are with my mom, with my aunts that are still living around, and my mom's Brazilian friends, and then you now as well. Yeah, there is that addition now too. So
second half just started.
Oh yeah, already a bad foul there that got committed by Brazil. And then also for me too, when I did get here at 13, the fact that I was so immersed in learning English and trying to get fluent at it and everything for about 2 straight years. And a lot of that just went, a lot of the accent just went away during that time. By the time that I hit my freshman year of high school, most of my accent was pretty much gone. You can still hear it now and then on certain words. I still can't make the TH It sounds more like an F kind of situation, but that's neither here nor there.
Zoe Royalty saying, "Hey, Tack, do you think Stevon made the right decision to go to Chelsea?" Personally, I think no,
No.
in terms of like his soccer career. But of course, money talks, which is kind of funny because they actually were closing the deal when I was there. I went to visit Palmeiras in May, and they put
Mhm.
me on a VIP booth with food. It was great. They took me to the training facilities. I met Endrick, I met Abel Ferreira, I met Dudu. Kind of saw Ronnie. I didn't want to talk to him, but I kind of saw him. I think you would do the same. And
Yes.
the Chelsea representatives were there to watch Kendry Paez and to close the deal with Palmeiras. They told me at the time that the deal was pretty much done by then, and this was already in May.
Yeah, I believe
So
it.
the decision has been done for in a long time. It's just the only issue is I don't think that's the best
Oh,
club for Stevon's development.
well,
In
that's a goal
my
lost by Paraguay.
Yeah, and Miguel Miron down the middle. They're moving the ball pretty fast here, Paraguay. Cross goes in, cleared by the Brazilians. But I don't know. Oh my God, he just scored from what, 40 yards out?
Yes.
That's a Paraguay goal.
That, like I said, that's a Paraguay golazo right there. Holy crap. Just 30 yards at the very least.
I think Allison failed, man. Let me see let me watch the replay.
He had no chance on that one.
Well,
Unfortunately, he had no chance.
let's see. Could he not have done better?
No, I think just the right corner of it is what Alderete got. I mean, a goal is a goal. Solid for them on that front. That's as good of a start as Paraguay could ask for. So now, if Brazil wants to respond, great. By all means, go ahead and do it. Vini.
Well, not us here. Now we are actually stuck here now in the stream because we have a game. It's funny
I mean,
because
hey,
I said that at halftime, like, you never know. We should probably stay live. What if Paraguay scores an early goal? Boom, they scored an early goal and the game is back.
okay, yeah, that hit off Alisson's hand and then got in. Just might have tried to maybe go with a fist on that one. Try to get a better deflection. I don't know. Either way, still a fantastic goal from Paraguay. Kudos to them on that.
Yeah, watching the replay here, I don't think there's. Maybe Allison could have saved it, but I wouldn't call it like a mistake. And everyone, if you could kindly get the likes up in this video. I don't know how many likes we have in the video right now. I can check, but if you guys can get it up, I would truly appreciate it. It helps the channel quite a bit. We actually have 264. We can easily get it to 300 to 400.
Like it for the algorithm. Get it into the algorithms, y'all.
Yeah, help us rig the algorithm. That's, as YouTube hosts, we're kind of just obligated to ask for likes. Tyson Hickman is saying our best performances since 2020 were in the 2020s were under BJ Callahan, Mexico, and Canada. He was able to simplify things and utilize the strengths of our teams. Do you think giving him a prove it deal while we search is a good idea? Yes, that's what I said before. I think giving him, oh, you mean prove it? So if he plays well, no, that I don't think so. I would give him time as an interim coach. Oh, Allison.
Yep, huge save.
Are we getting in trouble here?
I mean, Paraguay is starting to up the pressure, which, hey, like, and Cecil hit shaking Allison's hand after that save. That's hilarious.
But Tyson, I wouldn't. The thing is, how would BJ Callahan prove that he's the right guy for 2026 if we only have friendlies against like Canada, Panama, and New Zealand the next few games? What if he wins those games? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean so. I wouldn't give him a prove it like deal. I would let him be the interim coach, and I would hire a proven coach. I think the U.S. needs to hire a proven coach at a high level, whether it is national team or club. That's a different discussion. This World Cup is too important. We are hosting it. It's a great opportunity to help grow soccer in this country. We have a very talented generation. They may be a bit soft, but they're very talented. So, no, I wouldn't risk it with BJ Callahan. Maybe in the future. Maybe for the 2030 World Cup, you hire BJ Callahan in 2026 and you give him a shot. Also, remember, guys, BJ Callahan dominated Canada and Mexico. We looked really good. That is true. But our standard has to be higher than beating Canada and Mexico.
I just think the USSF needs to schedule more friendlies kind of in the same vein that Canada did against European teams. Like, yeah, sure, they got shellacked 4-0 by the Netherlands and then drew 0-0 with France, but that's probably better experience for those Canadian players than any friendlies against CONCACAF teams would do for them at this rate.
No,
like
absolutely.
Don't be like a Bolivia where you're scheduling 3 CONCACAF opponents and beating them just to feel better about yourselves, and then come into this competition and just lose the way that they have. So,
well, sometimes getting spanked is good. That's what she said.
But
I got it. That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good one. No, but anyhow, sometimes a national team getting spanked is good. You get beat up by a better team, you learn, you get better. It's better than you just beating up these terrible teams in CONCACAF. Terrible, terrible teams. Marcos Herrero saying, Tack, I think you should knock on wood next time not to jinx. I am pretty good at jinxing things, so I'm going to knock on wood right now because, yes, still confident in Brazil, but Paraguay scored a goal, and they almost scored a second goal. And if Paraguay got 2 goals in 10 minutes, Brazil would be in big trouble.
Yeah.
Sometimes
also, for a person that said few opportunities to schedule European teams with European Nations Leagues, true, but this is why, as a football federation, especially if you're the USMNT and the US Soccer Federation, with the amount of money that you guys make from fleecing young kids for pay to play and all that stuff, put comprehensive packages that pay these European teams a lot of money to come to the US to play friendlies. It's as simple as that.
And then now a free kick for Brazil. This could be dangerous. And they're saying, will Endrick come on? Most likely. He's been subbed in consistently by Dorival Jr. So I would assume
probably
Endrick
at some point or another as one of the substitutions. Yeah, for fresher legs and stuff. I mean, thank you for 700 viewers, but yeah, please hit the like button if you can. We would appreciate it, sincerely.
Or we will threaten you. Vinicius, okay. Ooh, post from Vinicius.
Save.
Was that Vinicius?
No, that was Rodrigo. Great save there by the Paraguayan keeper.
Did you see? So this is a good one. GMO is saying, we all hate Greg Berhalter. I sadly don't think even Klopp or Mourinho have time to improve things by 2026. Henry would have been good long-term because of France's system. Guys, Morocco literally hired their coach 6 months prior to the World Cup, and they made it to the semifinals. 2 years for the World Cup is plenty of time to work with these players. Because you'll have friendlies, so you get to know them. And then next year you have the Gold Cup, which gives you a full month with the players. There's plenty of time. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. If they hired Mourinho or Klopp, there would be time. And I made actually a proposal today. Did you see my proposal to sign Klopp? Did you, Chris?
I'm sorry?
So I made an offer for the US to sign Klopp. Did you hear my offer?
I think I want to say I did, but
this is
remind me again on
this is what we should do to sign Klopp. We pay him $2 million a year, which is roughly what Greg Berhalter makes. Okay, so we can definitely afford that. We give him the city of Cincinnati because we don't need it. We don't need Cincinnati. We can just give Cincinnati to Klopp. So the whole city is his. We also let Weston McKennie go to FC Cincinnati, so the city of Cincinnati doesn't get too angry about it, and they'll be happy. We give him Disney World annual passes for life. We give him Taylor Swift concert tickets for life. We give him 1 McDonald's franchise, and we allow him to live in Hawaii for free. That sounds like a pretty good offer. I would take it if I was Klopp.
A part of me doesn't feel like he'd be much of a Hawaii guy personally. I think he'd be better off, given that he's big into sort of marketing stuff and having a brand as well too. Give him a condo in Los Angeles and call it good instead, and I think you've got a pretty solid deal.
Too many homeless people for him. Send him to Hawaii. Send him to Hawaii. He'll love the
Hawaii
beach.
He has just as many, if not more. So
not by Waikiki Beach. We put him on Waikiki Beach. But look, we put the thing with Klopp is he's always very tan. So I think he would enjoy being by the beach, relaxing. He said he's running out of energy. There's no better place to re-energize than Hawaii. He's running out of energy. But Albert is asking, Tack, did you talk about the Weston McKennie situation that happened yesterday? We
did
did
earlier.
talk about it. I can talk about it again, and Chris can give his take too. I'll give my take very quickly. For anyone who doesn't know, the U.S. got spanked by Panama in a very bad way, not like a kinky spank, right? We didn't enjoy it. It wasn't a good spank. It was a bad spank. And McKennie was seen at like 11 p.m. or whatever, 10 p.m. in a hookah's lounge, right? That's what it was? Yeah, hookah's lounge.
Yeah.
Uh, and I gave my take. I think that he didn't do anything wrong, and you can do whatever you want after the game, right? But as a player, you have to be able to read the room. You just had what was one of the most embarrassing U.S. men's national team losses that I've seen in my life, probably the worst one since Cuba in 2017 when we didn't qualify to the World Cup. You are a bit overweight as an athlete, Weston McKennie, so you have to read the room. And I talked about how, let's say he went to dinner with his family after the game. That's fine. Like that's fine. You're a player. You're not going to just stay in the hotel room staring at the ceiling, waiting for the next day. But he went kind of like in a situation where it's almost like he went to a bar, like he went out and just like to have fun. Nothing wrong with it, but again, read the room. Read the room. Are people going to be happy about that? No. He didn't seem to care. He showed that he didn't care.
Yeah, a lot of it is just the perception of it,
Yes.
where I get it. He's a player that lost a pretty tough game and he wants to decompress in a certain way. But the problem is, if you're doing this stuff and you're not doing it super incognito to where you're not going to be seen, there's not going to be photos or videos of you, and you get caught in a situation like that, you're going to give a certain impression to the audience that watches you. And when you have a couple of things already going badly for you, like you may not be in like game ready shape, or you haven't been, like some people may argue, you haven't been giving 100% of effort in these games, and then you're caught in a situation like this. Yeah, people's perceptions are going to be he doesn't really give a shit. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he might feel an opposite way. Maybe he feels like he does give a shit, and this was just his way of decompressing from a tough loss. But again, perception is reality. And especially in this modern day where you can just, where situations like that can be caught on film, footage, etc., easily, it just doesn't leave the best impression, especially when you're going into an elimination game coming up against Uruguay. So
yeah, it's about impressions. No, I think Chris shares the same thought as me. Is like, we understand that athletes have personal lives and they shouldn't not have the personal life because they had a bad day at work. But again, it's the perception of it, especially out of all the players, especially Weston McKennie, because he has a history of that. He is not in the best shape of his career in terms of like weight, right? So it's just the perception of it. But I get it. I'm not going to go consistently complain. That's why I didn't even really complain about it on Twitter. I was like, okay, they have lives, guys. Let it be. But it is a terrible perception for Weston. It doesn't look good for him. That is a fact. I don't blame the fans being angry. That's my point. I don't blame Weston for doing whatever he wants, but I don't blame the fans for being angry. GMO is saying, has anyone figured out if the equal pay things affect the head coach's position as well? Huge pay cut for Klopp that was making 15 million pounds per year. Look, there hasn't been anything official saying that the equal pay between the men's national team and the women's national team affects the coaching job. And I will say one thing. It has been confirmed that on paper, there isn't anything, right? That's been confirmed. On paper, there is nothing between the equal pay lawsuit that affects the head coaching job. However, just like we were talking about Weston McKennie right now, there's the perception. So it could be that, yes, the federation could be choosing that they want to keep the salaries the same for public perception. That could be true of the head coach's job. But the whole equal pay lawsuit is just between the players, not the coaches. Okay, there's nothing official about the coaches. Now, yes, Brian McBride has mentioned that they did pay the coaches the same because they wanted to, and I think Charlie Davies said that. So again, it seems like it's more of a decision from the higher ups of U.S. soccer rather than something that has anything to do with the equal pay lawsuit. Do you know anything else about this, Chris, or what I said was accurate?
No idea in terms of how they go about it. I just figure if they're keeping if it is the USSF's decision to keep the men's and women's head coaching positions being paid the same, I think Emma Hayes is worth every bit of money you could throw at her for the women's team and then some. So if you need to like increase her pay grade to pay somebody like Klopp, like say 5-6 million a year or whoever they bring in next, like if it's a high enough salary to where on the women's side you have to match it just to keep things nice and even between everybody, Emma Hayes deserves that. So that's just my simplistic take on that.
Yeah, I've said my opinion before on the equal pay lawsuit. I just kind of let it be with them. That's between the players. I don't agree with it being applied to the coach, and the main reason for that, when I talked about this, is the women's national team coach or the penalty kick for Brazil again. The women's
Oh
national
my
team,
goodness.
the women's national team. I said this at Pete's stream. It can be a man coaching the women's national team. It can also be a woman coaching the men's national team. As a matter of fact, I would kind of rather have Emma Hayes over Berhalter, by the way, just to make that clear.
Yes,
I would
of
take
course.
her, maybe double her salary and fire Berhalter, and she can take charge of both.
Oh yeah,
See that?
100% got a hand on that. My
Yeah, that's a
goodness.
penalty. That was way more than
Unnatural
the
arm
first one.
position, it plainly on the arm, yeah. And then the guy trying to pretend he took a gut shot is hilarious on top of that too.
Yeah, maybe his wrist hurts.
Like Paqueta, do not take this penalty. Let Vinny get his hat trick.
It has to be Vinicius hat trick.
Let him get his hat trick. Come on, man.
Paqueta's really taking it.
Come on, man.
No, it had to be Vinicius. He's taking away Vinicius' hat trick. This mother licker's taking away Vinicius Jr.'s hat trick.
Just feels like a bad decision. This is where I would just let, because in Football Manager, if a guy has 2 goals and there's a penalty kick that happens, the CPU automatically defaults to the guy who had the 2 goals to go take the penalty to get a hat trick on this side of the spectrum. It's kind of like an automatic
Look at
thing.
Neymar's earrings. It's so
This
stupid.
would be, they are like obnoxious. My goodness.
Oh boy, it should have. This was the perfect game. Let Vinicius get a freaking hat trick, and then he's just like fired up for the rest of Copa America. And then you have Mr. allegedly gambling Lucas Paqueta that will take the penalty kick. Watch him miss it again.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but if he gets it, cool. That's 4-1.
So Paqueta. Okay, here comes
there
Paqueta.
It is. Okay,
He
actually got it right this time. Cool.
He scored.
Still would have let Vinny take it, but hey, 4-1. And again, this helps on the goal differential side of the spectrum too, which is nice. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of wanted Vinicius to get a hat trick.
For the folks on the chat, what minute is it on for you guys right now? Is it on the 66 minute or something like that, or 65 something? Just because for some reason my stream today decided to be like super slow. I'm still stuck on like 65, 25, 7, 65, 30 now rather. So
yeah, I think I'm pretty much with you because our reaction for the penalty was pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same, yeah. I mean, it's fine. If you guys are watching it on TV and ahead of us, it is what it is. We'll just try to not fully pay attention to chat when the big scoring opportunities come across, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're all going to know when we hit minute 69. That we always know. But everyone, make sure to drop a like in the stream. If Brazil scores another goal, then I can finally go and hit the road. But I will not hit the road before minute 69. We are
at 308 likes right now, so thank you for that. If we can make that 400, that would also be super cool. Just throwing that out there. Much appreciated.
Yeah, you guys won't gain anything from it, but it would be cool. You don't really gain anything from it, but it'll be.
I'm thankful on Talk's behalf, even though it doesn't benefit me directly. I guess I should say.
Okay, Almiron with another shot, and Allison saves.
Go. Yeah, outside of just letting that one banger in, Allison's been on point
Robert
throughout
he's been talking about the antenna for like an hour. He just really wants us to get an antenna, Robert.
Sorry, man. In my room, I don't have a television, so I'm not getting an antenna by any stretch of the imagination. That's Talk's territory, not mine.
I have an antenna. I just have to like put it on the wall there.
And then again, all we're saying is if you all get the stream to 1,000 likes, Talk will install the antenna before the Colombia game.
Oh yeah, I'll do it like right now. Not before the Colombia game. I'll do it before the Mexico game on Sunday. I won't even wait that long for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he should. Now is the good time also to send in Endrick, see if he can get a goal, get his confidence up for the national team.
Mm-hmm. It'd be solid, yes.
Another L3 hate watch. Oh yeah, I mean after the last one, oh boy, how could I not do one? The last one was so good. Oh Brazil, ooh, deflected. Oh. After the last L3 hate watch was the greatest hate watch I've ever had in the history of this channel. Why would I not do one on Sunday? It was so good. Everything went wrong for L3 for Mexico. Everything that could go wrong. It was beautiful. Corner kick for Brazil. Oh, we're about to hit minute 69. We're almost there. Why do we have two guys to take the corner? It seems like a waste.
Don't know.
You're not tricking anyone. Who are you tricking?
Yeah, they're not. It's like you don't have the reputation for going short on corners. So like, why would you do that now? Like, unless you're a team that's taking corner routes, routines with short passes and stuff, don't pretend that you're going to.
Vinicius. Oh my God, that was embarrassing. He just trying to rainbow flick and that happened. Dude, also, you tried those rainbow flicks in Qatar, you're going to prison, man.
Minute 69. Minute 69.
Nice. We hit minute 69. Nice. We made it again. No, these rainbow flicks are dangerous, man. You try it in Qatar, you go straight to prison right there. You can't do it. Even if you get them right.
This is a World Cup, man. Like, this is common ball. Like, guys will come for you if you try to do this fancy stuff. And I know you're trying to, like, agitate and stuff, but point.
Here's the difference between Vinicius and Neymar. Neymar does it, and he pulls it off.
Yeah, there's that difference, yeah.
Neymar pulls those off. Vinicius, I think, actually, isn't this the second rainbow flick he messed up this game?
Yes. Oh.
Vinicius is doing the rainbow flicks because it's the Pride
Paqueta bet on himself to get a yellow. I knew it. Allegedly, I should say.
Oh, Paqueta got a yellow. Everyone check the betting odds at the Paqueta Island. Go check it.
Oh, that was a proper Brexit tackle there. That boy's been learning in England. My God. Whoo. Oh God, Rafinha's in. Ronaldinho's about to turn off the stream.
He's like, I will not be watching now.
It's like Rafinha's on. I am turning this shit off right now.
Okay. Free kick here for Paraguay. Okay. Ooh.
Out of bounds. Yeah, not too. They defended it well enough to where it was off target, but always dangerous when you get those chances coming across.
Yeah. Hey, want to call it a game at minute 75? If Paraguay doesn't score by 75, we can call it a streak.
Fair. Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Brazil's not going to concede 3 goals in 15. And then they do.
So, Rafinha for Savio. And then,
yeah, and then Douglas Luiz for João Gomes, probably.
There we go. Yeah.
Still, why would you? Here's what I don't get about Dorival. It's 4-1. You have a comfortable lead. It's the perfect game to put the 18-year-old to gain his confidence, where he's allowed to make mistakes in these games. Why not put in Endrick?
Yeah, I figure if it's gonna happen, it'll probably be like 10 minutes from now where it doesn't matter as much, but it's still just kind of I don't get it personally as well. So but yeah, mass substitutions going on. Seems Paraguay are about to put in like at least 3 or 4 of their backups to get some experience, I guess. So I think, yeah, calling it in the 75 minute on the 75th minute is a good call here. Yeah, and Cizo's off for them.
Yeah, I think this is a big bounce back win for Brazil. Massive,
It's
good
good.
performance, but it is against Paraguay. So there's a lot of work to do before we talk about title contention still.
Yeah, the big test will be against Colombia on Tuesday, correct? Tuesday or Wednesday,
Yes.
one of those two. But yeah, the Colombia game will be the big test on how far this Brazilian team can go, because if Brazil does well, Colombia is most likely who they could be facing in the semis, them or Uruguay. So either way, it's still going to be a gauntlet, like regardless of circumstances. So you just got to do what you can.
Yeah, but as I said before, okay, here comes Brazil. Vinicius, shoot it.
Ooh. I don't think they got deflected, so let's get a goal kick, right? Let's see here. I just think Ronaldinho's probably happy because his one parlay on Brazil probably did hit tonight. So big man's finally making some money after a couple of days where that wasn't working out.
Oh boy, and let me tell you about Ronaldinho and money. His brother Assis, that guy just loves too much money. His brother. If anyone doesn't know who Assis is, he was a professional. Assis, he's the brother of Ronaldinho. He's also his agent, and he was a professional player in Brazil. If there's someone that loves money, that's the guy. That was the guy that essentially tried to get the fake Paraguayan passports for Ronaldinho and himself,
and got
that
him
put
both
Ronaldinho in
jail.
prison. Yes, got Ronaldinho in jail because of the fake. It was essentially Assis trying to buy it so he could pay less taxes or something. Honestly, if you have like millions and millions of dollars at the bank in the bank at this point, why do you even care anymore? Why do you care so much? But that's Assis. That's Ronaldinho's brother. I actually, well, he definitely doesn't know me, but I met him once here in Orlando in a restaurant. Very briefly, like a hi.
Oh,
There's like, Vinicius saved.
Low cross. Yeah, that wasn't Vinicius. That was João Gomes? 6?
Wendell.
Oh, that was Wendell. Okay.
Okay, so everyone,
we haven't heard his name much, so I guess that's a good thing. That he's been sort of
we're hitting minute 75, and I have to hit the road. Chris has to go rest, and we have streams coming up in the next few days. And I'll end it at this. Very convincing performance of Brazil, but against Paraguay. So we take it with a grain of salt. On Tuesday, Brazil will play Colombia, and that will be the real test. On paper, Brazil's better than Colombia, but they have to prove that on the field. And we'll do a live watch along for that. It'll be a big game. It'll be fun. But essentially, Brazil and Colombia are pretty much advancing to the next round. But that game is actually important because both teams will be battling for the first spot to avoid Uruguay. You don't want to play Uruguay early. You want to play them later.
Yeah.
So it is a crucial game next Tuesday between Brazil and Colombia to see who tops the group. Colombia plays for a draw. Brazil needs to win. Simple as that. That's the game that Brazil can actually make a statement. This right here is not a statement. This is a win that should have happened. Good performance, but this is not a statement. Anything you want to add before we go, Chris?
Nope, that's pretty much covers it for me. So thanks for having me again, everybody. It's been fun doing these, and hopefully if I do have time, I'll try to come back on Tuesday and we'll do the Colombia watch along. So
we'll see you soon. And everyone, make sure to subscribe to the channel here. Hit the like button. If you want to join our Patreon, link is in the description. And if you want to subscribe to Chris's channel, go to Brazilian Fury. The link is in the description of this video. And also follow him on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, go follow him. It's right there on the handle. It's Brazilian with an S. All right. Thank you very much for watching.
Pretty much for everything, it's Brazilian Fury with an S. So yeah, just follow me on that Twitch as well too. So
perfect. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Ciao. Have a good night.
Ciao.
Boa noite. Boa noite.